beauties, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm excited because we're doing body wave boho braids. I was sent 3 bundles of a 20-inch body wave texture and a natural black color, and I tried so hard to use all 3 bundles, but their bundles are so full that I was only able to use 2 bundles and like 1/16 of a third bundle. So not too much of the third bundle. In this clip, I'm showing that there is like no small hairs. Normally, if you order hair from Amazon, you will comb it and you will get tons of small hair. This hair is double drawn hair, so that means that it is full from the root all the way down to the tip. You don't get a lot of those small hairs. Before I start a set of braids, I always make sure that I prep out my rack to the fullest because I do not want to stop in the middle of hair and have to re-prep it out. Here is the product that I'm using. I like to use the Neat Braid, and also I love to use the Locked In Gel. So these are the 2 that I like to use. These are the stronger gels that I use. And then I like the Shine and Jam Always. It's more of a softer hold, so I use that to braid down. In this video, I'm going to show you guys a clip of me doing a braid in the front and then also one braid that I do in the back, just so you can get a feel of how I fill out each section. So with this, I braid one time and I put in my human hair right away, especially if it's an edge braid. I want to get that fullness at the top in the front so it can cover my braid. And then I add in a synthetic braiding hair strand, and then I add in another human hair strand. So this set, I said I wanted to do it extra full, and so that's why I'm going to add a lot of strands into this braid. And I'm going to have a braid chart just so you guys can see exactly how many strands I braid into this human hair set. This is my 3rd human hair strand that I added into the braid, and you guys are going to see me constantly reaching for my Shine and Jam product just so I can slick everything in the braid and leave it consistent as I go down. I'm grabbing tiny pieces of braiding hair. I'm doing that because at some point your client's natural hair or your natural hair is going to run out and the braid is going to continue, but you want to fill in that density by adding in another strand of braiding hair. This is my 4th human hair strand that I'm adding into the braid, and I'm just going to keep on braiding down after I add in that strand. And when you're adding in your strands, you want to make sure that you are leaving yourself an inch or 2 to braid it in. That will make sure that your strands stay in your braid and they don't slip out as you're brushing it or styling it for the day. You will lose less curls. At this point, I have all the braiding hair that I'm going to add into my braid because I'm past my client's natural hair. That was my 5th strand of human hair that I added to the braid. And I'm just going to continue to braid down. You guys, we were watching Pop the Balloon on YouTube and we were cracking up laughing because this show is so funny and sad at the same time. I'm trimming my braid so it matches the length of the other braids that are already installed in. And this is my 6th human hair strand that I added to this braid. You guys, I told you I wanted this set to be super full. So when I was prepping out my rack, I made sure that I made my strands really thick. And just before I get to the very end, I'm adding in my 7th strand of human hair to my braid, and I'm just going to pull that up and continue to braid down. This is my 2nd to last human strand that I'm adding in. I know that it looks like I'm getting close to the end of the braid, but I still have room for another human hair strand to be added. And I like to add a lot to the very bottom of the braid because it helps weigh down the braid and you get that fullness at the bottom along with the top too, but I try not to go really heavy on the top and not so heavy on the bottom because then it starts to look weird. Now I'm adding on my last human hair strand, and that is the end. I'm not going to pull that up. I'm just going to continue to braid down until I run out of braiding hair, until I run out of the end of the human hair strand that I put in. And then I'm going to wrap it around. I'm going to take a tiny piece and wrap it around the braid, tie it in 2 knots, grab my crochet hook, and take that tiny piece and pull it through my braid. That is going to secure my braid. I'm not going to need any glue. I'm not going to need any heat or lighter to it. It stays. It is literally solid. I do that for my locks that I have in, that I keep in for months, even up to a year for my extensions, and it stays. Then I take my scissors and I just cut all the flyaways that are left from the pieces I couldn't tuck into the braid, and everything that I'm cutting is the human hair that I added into the braid. It's not my client's natural hair. You can clearly tell a difference because the human hair is straight, very silky, and my client's hair, even though it's well blow dried out, you can still tell that it has a little natural frizz to it because it's our natural hair. And this is just a time lapse of me filling in this side. I really went crazy with the curls and I love the way it looked. It was really full. Yeah, very cutesy, very mindful, very demure. This is how my client's hair looked when I was finished with the front on both sides. I just did the same thing that I did on this side to the other side. The quality of this hair is literally a 10 out of 10. It is just so soft, so full. You get so much each bundle. Like the beginning of my video where I was showing my rack, that was just one bundle prepped out, which was almost my whole rack, and I was doing thick strands. The hair that I received was bulk hair. So what that means is it is loose human hair and it is not on the track. So you don't have to worry about cutting the track and then start prepping out your hair. You can just already have it off the track and prep it out. I like to spray a little bit of water on the track because that helps me separate it, and I work in smaller sections so I don't lose any human hair while I'm prepping it out. So as you see, I already got started with the back tutorial braid. I like to do my back so low with the human hair braids just because I feel like I want to get my base low first and then start filling out my top rows, because I feel like when I put human hair so close to the root at my bottom rows, one, it gets tangled easier because you sweat on your neck. And two, I just feel like if you fill out your bottom rows, the top is just going to lay once you start putting a lot of human hair at the top rows. I hope that made sense, but you guys will see as I'm doing the video on what I mean, because I'm going to show you guys my rows and how many curls I put in. So for a lot of my bottom rows, I'm just putting in 2 curls at the bottom of my braid, and then I'm putting my end human hair curl. So it's a total of 3 curls on each braid at my bottom, and I believe I do that for 3 to 4 rows, but we will see later on in this video. Here is a time lapse of me finishing up the back. I like to put in all my braids, especially if I'm working by myself. My assistant wasn't able to help me today, so it was just me. I like to put in all my braids in the back, and then I like to go back and just add in all of my curls. And for me, that just helps. It works out. I can sometimes just sit down and add in my curls and finish off my braids. This, I stopped it because this was 2 full bundles of human hair, and I went back and prepped a little bit of a 3rd bundle to finish off the top of my back part. But as you guys can see in the time lapse, I did a lot of my curls at the bottom in the back part for the first 4 to 5 rows. And then I start to slowly fill it in to where you get to the top and you're putting in, like, I think my top rows, I was putting in about 5 to 6 curls. And I just kind of evenly put in the curls on those braids, and it just laid so beautifully. This is how the hair looks in the back, and you can't even tell that I didn't even put a lot of curls in the very back braids because the top of the back is so full. This is how the front looks all finished, and my client just looks so beautiful. I really love this body wave hair. It is so soft, and I just love the pattern. So even though I'm going to show my braid chart a couple of times in the video, I just want to show you guys in person on how they look. So I did 3 for both of the braids in the first row. The second row I did 4, then 3 curls. And this row also has 2 braids. The third row has 3 braids. I did 5 curls for the first braid in the third row, and then 4 for the rest. The fourth row has 6 curls for the first braid and 4 curls for the rest. This row has 3 braids. The fifth row is when I really start filling out the curls. So for the first braid in the fifth row, I have 8 curls, and for the rest of the braids, I did 6 curls. The fifth row has 3 braids. So for the sixth row, the first braid has 9 curls, and the rest of the braids have 8 curls. In this row, I have 3 braids, and I share a section of this row with the back. The last row, for some reason, I didn't get myself counting it, but for the first braid, it was 10 curls, and for the rest of the braids, there was 9 curls. For the back, like I said before, I didn't put too much curls at the top of the braid So for the first row, there was 2 curls on each braid and 4 braids. This second row, it was 5 braids and 2 curls in each braid. For the third row, there is 7 braids and I did 2 curls each braid. And then for this fourth row, there is 8 braids and 2 curls in each of the braids. For the fifth row, it should either be 8 again or 9. And in this row, I started to put 3 curls instead of 2. So I did 1 curl in the middle of this braid, and then I did the 2 at the bottom. From this point, I have 4 more rows left, and then this is when I really start to try to fill in the top back part, just so I can get the curls started at the top of the back. For this part, I would say just to fill it in as much curls as needed. I don't really have a certain curl to put in. Just make sure that whatever curls you're putting in, it's really filling it in. And this is our finished look. This is after we took pictures with the hair being dry, and I just wanted to wet it down just to see how it would act. So I took my spray bottle and I just sprayed the heck out of this hair and spraying it from the top to the bottom. And for my suggestion, when you're going to sleep, I would say you would want to put it in a couple of twisties just to keep your wave going if you didn't want it to go completely straight on you. But even when I'm wetting it down, it's not like it's going straight. It's actually feeling more softer as I'm wetting it. And I'm just getting out all those hairs that I didn't get out while I was braiding. Then I'm just going in with some Lotta Body Mousse, and I am just putting that throughout the hair, top to bottom. And as I'm putting it in, I'm smoothing it, then I'll scrunch it up just so I can get a little bit more of the wave going. I really love the way that these braids turned out. It took me about 8 hours to finish and complete, along with filming and taking videos and stuff. I would definitely recommend this hair. I even refer some of my clients who are trying to buy their own hair to this company, along with another 2 companies. That is it for the video today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.